admitting people into the space now.
Good morning, everyone. Greetings, Facebookers. Greetings, Zoomers. This is Coach Shawnee Benton Gibson.
Some bless our family. Good morning.
Good morning, love. How you doing? Good morning, Abimbola. Good morning.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, Shawnee.
Hey, great to see you. Good morning, Marie and Carmen. And we have, I think Quasi is in the house, Teresa, Z, Imani, Stacy Evans. If there's anybody else that you know is part of this community and may need a nudge to wake up and to join us in this space, please do invite them. I ask that you grab some water, pen and paper would be supportive of you this morning so that you can capture some of the things that we're talking about. Today's subject matter is conflict, the human muscle builder. And I am grateful that conflict was the catalyst for me to arrive and land in this space this morning, because I was sleeping about 15 minutes ago, and then I started to get messages from the team about the need to cover the session because our original facilitator, Nicholas, was in a travel situation. He's safe and sound, nothing dangerous, but, just time and landing and prepping and all of that good stuff. So I'm jumping in. So conflict is going to build my muscle this morning and the muscle of the team members for admin, and then also this community's muscle. So let's get ready. Once again, grab some water because you might have to hydrate yourself as you negotiate this space and this conversation. And then also grab pen and paper so that you can fully participate and engage in this exploration about conflict. Looking forward to it. And so, Tiff, whenever you're ready.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together.
Alrighty, good morning, everyone. This is Coach Shawnee Benton Gibson coming to you live from South Ozone Park, Queens, coming to you live from my couch where I was sleeping and enjoying a good dream. And then I was woken up by a text exchange that said that our brother Nicholas, who was here in the space, I might add, would be running late and might have some difficulty jumping on. And so here I am filling in. Here I am doing what we do in this community, which is to make sure that we have each other's back and make sure that we, are spontaneous and that we build the muscle of flexibility. What's so deep about this is, and Tiffany, can you spotlight me? If I am, I can't see. what's so deep about this is as I prepare as a leader, as the director of the Be the Tree Rites of Passage Collective, and as I prepare other leaders to start this process, which we will begin at the end of August with cohort 18, or cycle 18, we pick ambassadorships, words to stand in, words to operate from for the entire cohort, which lasts for 4 months. And we intuitively select those energies, vibrations to stand in. And guess what? Mine for this cycle is flexibility. And so I am grateful that I get an opportunity to work that muscle of flexibility, be that ambassador this morning, support my brother Quasi and the other admin that are part of this journey with being able to pivot and shift and align ourselves on the dime, be able to work the muscle of utilizing these awesome brains. And another conversation I've been having is about imagination as the source of our growth, our development, and our transformation. So this morning, I am working those muscles, and I am leaning in, diving in, and inviting you to join me in a conversation about conflict. Conflict as a human muscle builder. So let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. So as we begin the process, what I'm going to invite you to do is to place in the chat words for conflict. Please do, place that in the chat. Any words or phrases that align with the word conflict, like what that means to you. You can talk about the emotional state it puts you in, what you believe it represents, your relationship with it, anything that you choose to put in. And I ask that the admin allow us to hear some of those things verbally so that the Facebookers and the Zoomers can experience it. I know it's written in the chat or it's about to be expanded in the chat in those shares. And then also the Facebookers will join because they're like 12 seconds behind. There's a delay, but I'm trusting that the admin team will be able to capture that, name those things out loud, and then we will carry on with the conversation about conflict so we can build our muscle this morning. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, Shawnee, we have the community dropping in. Imani said tension. Z says battle. Wendy said disagreement. Teresa said aggravated. Sarah said confrontation. Darlene said fight. Dee said work. Candace is saying conflict is obstacles and stress a fight. So if you would like to invite one of them into the space.
I would actually prefer to hold off. And I want you to let that marinate, everyone. And please keep dropping in the statements, the one-word responses in reference to conflict, because today we're going to explore it lightly, or you know what, you might explore it heavily. I can't predict, or I'm not trying to dictate how you negotiate this. There are some of us in this space who are in a dynamic of conflict with someone else, with a circumstance. You get in conflict with people, places, and things. So some of us are dealing with this right now. So this topic, this exploration is perfect for us. Once again, as I said at the top, invite others who you know would be in this space to join us right now. Normally in the morning, we send out reminders, and I'm the person that will do that, or Coach Cheryl, but we may not have the support on that level because we're dealing with conflict, right? And being able to adjust. So I'm asking everyone to be that admin support and invite, friends, family, anybody who you believe would benefit from being in this conversation to join us this morning. And I'm also asking the admin team to manage the sound, because I hear additional sound. So we are all in the conflict realm. I love it. So what I'm going to do is to share a slide with each of you, and I'm going to invite you to intuitively select a number between 1 and 6. Please do place that in the chat, and then I'll show you the slide. Because your spirit is never in conflict. What our ego cells do is push back, resist, deny spirit access, deny spirit the capacity or the capability to speak to us, to guide and direct us. So on Facebook, if you could place a number between 1 and 6. 1 and 6, one of the conflicts is sometimes we don't listen and hear the instruction. So it never fails. Like always when I do this, it's like, between 1 and 10, somebody will put 12 in. Or I say 1 and 6, somebody will put in 7. 1 through 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of those numbers, place it in the chat, just one. And that is your intuitive selection, your higher self, sharing with you what you need so that you can negotiate this conversation and go deep and get a message that is for you this morning as it relates to this subject matter. So, Tiff, if we are ready, if you feel like we have enough responses in the chat, I will carry on and place the slide up with our selections in it. So let me know
Yes.
if folks are ready.
Yes.
They're ready? All right.
Yes, they are.
So check this out. Be on the lookout for what is for you, and we'll give further instruction after you see it. All righty. So what you see here is a visual selection of a nature scene. So you have 1, 2, 3 on the top, 4, 5, 6 on the bottom. Whichever number you selected, I invite you to peer into that space and tell me why your higher self selected this particular image. And I'll pick a few of you so that we can hear from you. Why do you believe, Spirit? Why do you believe you, not from your brain space, but from your spiritual space and plane, selected this particular number and this particular scenery? So if someone is ready to share, please raise your digital hand. Once again, keep inviting folks in so that we can engage in this conversation, because the more of us that are in conversation about transforming our relationship with conflict, the more peaceful this world will be. And we've been dealing in the last, 16 months or more, 17 months, with an absolute global conflict where we have been tossed to and fro and really stressed and challenged around our humanity, around our negotiation of time and space and connection with people and just how we live. So we're definitely building that muscle and have for a minute now. And so we get an opportunity to really get related to this subject matter in a deeper way. So any hand raised to negotiate this image. And if you're just arriving in the space, hone in on one of these numbers and let's see where it takes us. All right, so Tiffany, anybody? I know we're still letting it marinate. And you can select someone if you wish, Cessa. You don't have to wait for the digital hand.
Miss Shawnee, I was trying to raise my hand. I couldn't see the function, but I'm down to go.
Oh, great. Is that Quasi?
Yes, Quasi.
All right, wonderful. You sound a little muffled, so just speak a little louder if you can. And
okay.
Awesome. So what number did you pick intuitively?
I picked number 3.
3. All right. Love this image. So tell us what comes up for you as you look at this image. What does it mean for you?
You know, this is one of my favorite images, the image of the tree. It's a reoccurring theme in my life. It reminds me that there's so much work that happens beneath the surface. So much that happens before, you even see the fruition. And it reminds me too how much attention and time and care goes into one tree, and even the wisdom of a tree. It's we try to figure out these things in our lifetime, and trees. Some trees live thousands of years, so it's a reminder that there's a deeper wisdom, in nature.
Beautiful.
Are you up?
Yes. I'm sorry. Can you manage the?
Oh, I not.
Thank you, everyone. Quasi, you can come off mute. Let's try not to mute all, but just find the person where we're unmuted so that we can keep the conversation flowing and going. I love that we're experiencing conflict in this session. When conflict comes in all ways, there's nothing wrong, but we're experiencing, sound issues. We started late, like all of it is perfect. So Nicholas, what I would like to invite into the conversation and what I'm intuitively being given is that this tree is split in two. And you spoke about trees and the complexity of like how they grow, and I'm using complexity and just like it's a major thing in how long they live. There's this terminology, I think it's a quote, but I don't know it exactly, but it speaks of trees as sentinels for the planet. And so what stands out for me, brother, is that this tree has um, two presences. I'm going to use that terminology. And what stands out for me is the center of it is what is the sun literally, but for me is like an egg. So I'm going to invite you, because what Spirit is telling me is that you're in a space right now where there's something that's being birthed. And I don't know if it's partnership with someone, and there's a delicate creative energy that is flowing between you. It might be a business venture. It might be, some type of idea that you are allowing to coalesce between the two of you. It might be two businesses coming together to co-create. I don't know what that is. You know what that is, but it's like one vision that is splitting in two, and different ideas coming from that have to be merged together. And like I said, I see the sun in the middle is almost like an egg, or like an embryo or a fetus. So what is happening with you? And also, because we're talking about conflict, where's the presence of that in this engagement, in this co-creative flow? So do you know what I'm talking about?
That's tracking amazingly well. You pointing out that the two splits is actually very eye-opening for me. So I'm in this place in my life where I'm somewhat in these two identities. They seem to be both growing from a strong place, but they do seem to be going in opposite directions. And I've recently, moved my living situation from a certain place to like 9 years living in one place to go back to my hometown. And there was a time in my life where I thought, I had to have these two different identities separate. What the tree is kind of showing me is that they stem from the same root. So while and initially I see these trees growing apart or splitting their identity, I'm somewhat reminded that they still come from the same seed. The idea of what was trying to happen is still there, but there are two different kind of identities that seem to be growing.
Ashe, really, really powerful. And for me, when I think about myself and my journey, I wrote a book called Walk in the Light with Me. And in the book, I explore the power of darkness and what conflict has provided to me. Like, I don't explicitly say the word conflict, but I utilize the darkness and the light as this metaphor for my growth and evolution as a woman, as a human being, as a Black person, as a mother, as a friend, like how darkness has really been present in it all. And how when I allow myself to peer into it rather than turn away and run away from it, I've actually grown and transformed in this really beautiful way. So as it relates to you and these two sides of you, what is a specific conflict that you bumped up against? I know you talked about the move and, is there resistance around that? And then you act out, so to speak. Like, how does that show up inside of this new, from 9 years of building and manifesting and maybe grounding yourself and maybe feet firmly planted on the ground, and then you having to move in that shift that has occurred, that has created this rift internally. So speak more about the move and what you've been making it mean for yourself. That's low vibrational. And then also the light that comes from it and the growth and the muscle building that you've discovered.
Right. It's at this point, none of it necessarily feels low vibrational, but where there is, I guess, conflict, and that probably lives in that realm, it's just choosing my name. Yeah. I'm having conflict in just choosing my name. Like Quasi was a name that was like given to me, I took on, and many people know me as that. And also, names can matter to the person. So when I hear the name Quasi, I also have a certain identity that places me in a certain chosen life, like my life in New York. And my birth name, Nicholas, which is a name I really love, it's what I'm going by in my hometown. It's what they're familiar with, but it doesn't, that the person that they're calling Nick doesn't necessarily feel like the person that I am today. So where there was conflict was just trying to find ownership, and yoga and meditation, bringing it to a smaller town, Just trying to find my place, I guess, in a new tempo, new environment.
Ashay. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so I promised the community, and Teresa, I see your hand. I just want to move forward because of the time. And I know we can take more time with the space, but I want to move us into a space where the entire community gets to explore. And you can put in the chat why you believe you received this particular nature scene, what it means for you. There's so many beautiful images here, and there's so much powerful meaning in them all. Like I said, I shared with Nicholas or Quasi what came up for me as he shared, and then what I saw for him inside of the image or saw about him. And, and we've been talking back and forth about that, but there's another layer to this. So Nicholas, I ask that you fasten your seatbelt and get ready, because there's the next layer, and then there's one after that we get to explore before we sign off from this session right now. So if you are just arriving in the space, and we just admitted someone into the space, we all pick numbers from 1 to 6, and they align with these images that we're looking at. And you can declare why your higher self selected this image. The subject matter is conflict, the human muscle builder. And we're going to move forward and look at what Spirit has for us next in reference to messaging. And then I'll see, who else has something to share about this. So let's move forward, family. So with every image, there is a corresponding affirmation. There is a message about change. Every single declaration here, affirmation here has change as the word to support it, to ground you in understanding and understanding how conflict works and how we get to negotiate it. So Nicholas, if you would, Quasi, read yours. You don't have to elaborate on it. I just want you to read yours out loud, since you started us off, because your image was 3 and your change selection is 3 as well. So we're going to stay with that. So if you could read what you got, then that would be great.
Okay. Number 3, my impact on the world is much greater when I embrace change.
Ashe. And so does that align with the conversation that we just had around the image and your negotiation of your move and Quasi, Nicholas, hometown, and town that I was living in for 9 years? Do you get how that corresponds?
Definitely.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, definitely.
All right, awesome. So you can write in the chat, if you wish. It's all invitation. I don't want you to be in conflict about writing, but you can say why this affirmation is aligned with what we were just talking about, and we're going to move forward. So everyone, based on the number that you selected, the image that you got, and this message, what comes up for you? Place it in the chat. So I'm going to read, you know what, let me not. Anybody select number 1 in the space, please unmute yourself. Or Tiffany, if you see the numbers, because I know you were there to watch them come through. And then Charmaine for Facebook. Anybody select the number 1 in the space? If not, let me move forward. I'll read it, and then we can have someone who selected 2 ready themselves by unmuting. It might be more than one person, so we shall see. So number 1 affirmation, the affirmation is change keeps me fresh. Change keeps me fresh. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. So anyone select number 2 as their affirmation? All right, moving forward.
I'm sorry, Shawnee. It was Jem from Facebook. So that was the only number 2. Yes.
All right, excellent. So Tiff, can you read it for Jen?
Yes. Number 2, this change comes right on time and is exactly what I needed.
Ashe. So Jim, you are invited to look at in your life where there is a conflict, and I'm inviting you to create a space where you transform conflict into change, and then allow this affirmation to live and breathe. So write in the Zoom post, the Facebook post, if you would, the response to this conflict / change, and how it's right on time and exactly what you need. Like really lean into that and embrace that. Like your higher self knows that this change, conflict, AKA conflict, comes right on time and is exactly what you need. So prayerfully, we'll hear from you later on as you write that out, as you explore what that is. And I'm going to invite anyone who has affirmation number 3 to name yourself in Facebook and also to name yourself in the Zoom space. Anyone have 3?
We have Imani and Bimbola, Candace.
All right, so 3 is a poppy. And then we also heard from Nicholas. All right, so I would love to hear from any of the persons that were named, just one, about this relationship with this particular affirmation, number 3. Zabin Bola, Imani, anybody willing to come off mute? Oh, I see Abin Bola. And I see other hands. So you can pick, if you wish, Tiffany, who goes? Tiffany, are you there?
Yes, Candace, can you come off of mute and please join us?
Morning, Grand Rising, everyone.
All right, let me pick this.
Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. So yes, number 3 was intuitively chosen. And my impact on the world is much greater when I embrace change. And I'm just embarking on graduate school and changing both my attitude and my ability to accept change. So it definitely resonates with me. Right? My impact on the world is much greater when I embrace change. The things I'm about to do will lead me to be able to serve my community on a larger, more impactful level. So it definitely speaks volumes.
Beautiful. And let's speak to the impact specifically, sis. So you saw the tree with the sun in the center and the 2 splits. So that is a message in itself, like I spoke with Quasi about. And then also this whole impact on the world statement. So it's beyond just going to school. It's about who you are called to be on the planet and what you are called to do. So please do share more about that, if you would, in a couple of sentences, what the connection is between the image and then also this statement, my impact on the world.
So my impact on the world will be an improved ability to use my voice to guide young people towards academic success. I will be a leader, as a leader in a school building, in a school district, and this will only be possible because I've chosen to allow the steps towards change.
Got that. And you said I will be a leader. So are you gliding into leadership, or are you already a leader?
I am, and I've already led. I am leading, and I will continue to be a leader.
All right.
Thank you,
So
Shawnee.
yeah, you're welcome. And definitely part of the human muscle building for you is to embrace that it doesn't require your leadership doesn't require you to study, to get grades, to be declared by a professor that you are a leader. You're already that. You're just adding more tools to the toolbox of your leadership. So I invite you in this whole my impact on the world to embrace that you were born for this, that this is divinely ordained. Just like that tree is naturally who it is or what it is, unapologetically, it's not like, am I a tree? I invite you not to be in a space, or, I invite you to embrace that you are already a leader and you're just stretching the muscle of the leadership that you came onto the planet to exercise and execute and to share with the world. Do you receive that?
Shay, absolutely.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, beloved. Thank you. So number 4, change acts as a driving force and helps keep me moving ahead. Who has number 4?
Darnice had number 4.
All right. Is Darnice willing to come off mute and to join us in the conversation?
If she's unable to, we have Kyra Harris from Facebook, selected number 4.
Okay, great. Now, Kyra, I don't know if she declared why she believes she got this particular affirmation, and we can read that from Facebook. Darnice, I'm not sure. Usually she'll come off mute, but maybe she's, working and doing something else. So I'm not attached to either one of them speaking if it's not workable, but if they are willing and able to do it, that would be great. But once again, offering up that we transform change to conflict. And in that statement, conflict acts as a driving force and helps keep me moving ahead. Anybody want to come on as a proxy for Darnice or proxy for Kyra to talk about this shift in perspective about conflict and change, like them living as siblings in the same airspace? I would love to hear from someone. I see Carmen's hand is raised.
Mm-hmm.
Hey everyone. I don't know if I can act as a proxy, but I also what was defined into to number 4. And for me, I'm a Taurus, and I get really stuck in a routine, and I get really comfortable in that. And I'm also very conflict avoidant, and I can switch that up in my brain. My life right now is about coming out of my colonization, and I think that being conflict avoidant is something that I picked up from being a colonized person. So for me to understand that conflict is okay and change is okay, and it actually affects me moving forward in a positive way is a beautiful affirmation for me.
Sure. So Carmen, there's a little bit of a muffled sound as it relates to your, I don't know if you're using your phone or another device, but if you could speak closer into, if it's your phone, into the mic of the phone, or maybe it's in the space that you're in. Like I said, this morning is full of like different levels of conflict or shifts that we have to make, so it's all good. But what I believe I heard you say is inside of this share about conflict as a driving force that helps keep you moving ahead, you have been operating in your relationship with conflict change as someone that avoids and resists it. And you're recognizing that if you actually embrace and accept it, that you would actually be able to grow and move ahead in your life. Is that what you said?
That is what I said.
Beautiful.
Can you hear me better now?
Beautiful. It's so clear now. It's like night and day. So yeah, and thank you for, just adjusting and hanging in. So what is the source of the resistance to conflict? Like, where do you believe that got birthed inside of you? Where did that come from?
I think it's around my colonization. I think it's around like my proximity to whiteness and just being very conflict avoidant, being very much like a people pleaser or a pleaser to my environment. And that makes me not necessarily always stand up for myself or assert myself. And then that in turn allows me to stay stagnant or stay in the same.
Got it. And, I do a lot of work on anti-racist work, training and developing people and speaking about conflict and change as part of this dynamic. And so just curious about this, because everybody in the space might not know what you mean by this is a product of your colonization. And I actually push and say that I believe that is part of it for anybody who is BIPOC or Black Indigenous person of color, that's present in the atmosphere, whether you're conscious of it or not. But I will also say that much of our resistance and pushback against conflict is also fueled by how we're raised. It's fueled by what we've been taught when we were children, whether it was explicitly said or implicitly part of the system of negotiation. Like, we're taught from children, sit down, sit at the desk, fold your hands, speak when spoken to, regurgitate, take in all this information, regurgitate it, take the test, pass the test. If you don't pass, you're not sufficient, efficient, or worthy. So I'm curious, or in your household, toe the line, speak when spoken to, stay in your lane, don't disrespect. So if you're born to be a fire source, just thinking about the elements, if you're born to speak up, speak out, if you're born to be revolutionary inside of these systems, you could be taught to squelch that, quiet that, and not be that. So I'm just curious, because relate to you as somebody who is a catalyst for change, a person who is who speaks truth to power. So, what were you taught as a kid about who you are as far as this fire eater, fire speaker? Like, what were you taught about that? Was it embraced?
That I do too much. That I do too much and I'm hella dramatic. I was taught that I do too much and I'm hella dramatic. I was constantly minimized, constantly like put down.
Got that. So the put downs have created a dynamic where you are like, I need to quiet myself. I need to avoid getting into it with people so that I can survive. Because doing the opposite of that, when you speak out, you get squashed, you get minimized, you get disrespected and disregarded. Is that the case?
Yeah, that's it. That is actually
it.
how it goes.
All right. So what are you willing to do about being conflict avoidant?
Not. I have to affirm to myself that conflict is okay. That being uncomfortable is okay. That's a natural part of life. That we're not always supposed to be comfortable, and we're not always supposed to all get along. Like that's impossible. And if I continue on this road, I'm going to kill myself.
What do you mean, literally or figuratively?
Figuratively, mostly. Not. Yeah, I'm gonna kill myself figuratively. Allow others' messages to continue to internalize in my body.
Got that. So I'm gonna go back to your image because I think it's deep that you got the image that you got. And then I'm going to offer something up, and then we'll move ahead with the two others, and then I'm going to do a final piece with the community. So let's go back, because your image is, oh, wait a minute. What is your image again? Is it number 4, or did I just put that on you?
No, it was absolutely number 4.
Okay, got that. All right, just wanted
absolutely number 4.
So check this out, family. Look at this image, right? For me, it's full of conflict. So what do you see?
I saw a beautiful sunrise. I saw like a new day, a new beginning, and like a new opportunity. I saw this water and it just looked so clean and clear, and in the air, like it just looked like a place that I want to be.
Got it. And I love that you see that. It is beautiful. All of these nature scenes are beautiful. And what I also see is rumblings in the sky, a crimson sky. I see the ocean, and I see this rock that's being pushed up against. And you know what water does to a rock after time and time again, millions of times of the water hitting up against it? What happens to it? Anybody? It doesn't have to be Carmen if she doesn't see it immediately.
It wears away.
It wears away. Yeah, so there's a conflict. It's a beautiful scene, but every time that water comes and hits the rock and rolls on back, and then the shore comes back in again and it hits the rock, imagine millions of times of this happening, there will start to be this wearing down of the surface of the rock. And so if you look at yourself inside of this situation and place yourself as the rock in the space, what is that wearing down factor that you have allowed yourself to experience that has worn you down? Just in the context of this conversation that we've been in about conflict in you.
I think it's the internalization of other people's opinions about me.
Mm-hmm.
Like really carrying that, really holding that, really, now I have to every day wake up and remind myself that I know who I am, that I'm not who anybody says that I am, that I know who I am.
Got it. And you know, the thing about this rock is that it's going to remain unless someone comes and moves it, or some force moves it out of the way, or the current is strong enough to budge it, which it doesn't look like it, but you know, anything is possible, that the rock will remain a rock no matter what. That the side of it that is being maybe eroded down by the water may be shifted or transformed, but the rock will still remain a rock, and it will still do what it is ordained to do, which is to stand in that space and to hold space, unless something else, like I said, shifts it and creates a force for it to be moved. And I'm encouraging you to own that you're a rock, to own that you were born and ordained to spit fire. But what I will also, what I will also offer up is that there's a time and place for everything. that in order for you to survive and thrive so that you don't die figuratively, that you can pick and choose when you push back. You can pick and choose when you spit fire. You can pick and choose what direction you spit it in or how much comes out. That you don't always have to be the most or be dramatic, that it's time and place. And I'm going to give you this quote. And if somebody can catch it and type it for the chat, because I'm choosing just to let myself be settled in the seat right now. And I'm asking the community to co-create with me. So I'm going to say this slowly. You can speak the truth at the wrong place and at the wrong time, and it can occur to others as a lie. So I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say we, because I know this to be true for me too. Carmen, we can speak the truth at the wrong place and at the wrong time, and it can occur to others as a lie. Do you get that?
Absolutely, 100%
All
in
right.
my body.
All right. So what can create a conflict sometimes is that we think we got to speak truth all the time. And I'm speaking for me too, because I grew up as the one that was the most and dramatic and always speaking out and pushing up against stuff and telling adults what I thought, not disrespectfully, but it was coming out of me. I was 3 and 4 and 7, and these things were coming up and out of me. And I would get beaten sometimes. I would be told off by adults, sometimes by other children. You know, it created a lot of fire and conflict in my life because I would do that. And I had to learn over time as my muscle building ability to speak the truth at the right place and the right time. Sometimes in a meeting with you, this is me speaking about how I could be before, like with my director, when I used to work for an organization back in the day, speaking the truth in front of everybody in the meeting about what I thought about their ideas and how I thought something was wrong. There were times when I was better served pulling that person to the side. The person was a male, a Latinx male. They would get offended sometimes when I would speak truth in the meeting space with all of the staff sitting around listening to me say what I said in the space. I would be right about what I was saying. The idea was good or the pushback was merited, but it was the wrong place and wrong time for that individual. So I just want to offer that up, that you can be dramatic and you can be the most, but time and place makes a difference. And Carmen, I want to make sure that you are complete before I move on, because I have one more thing I want to do with the community. Just looking at time, and we're past the time. We're 15 minutes past the 7:30 completion time, and I'm going to take about 10 more minutes with the community if you're able to stay. If those are not able to stay, you know, because you have to go and transition off, I definitely get that. We started late, and then also I'm not complete with the conversation. So y'all bear with me if you would, and we'll move forward. So Carmen, are you complete?
Yes, I'm complete.
All right, beloved, thank you so much. So going back, I will read the last two. If you got 5 and 6, tune in. Change, remember I said convert to conflict, opens my eyes and expands my vision to see things that I didn't see before. Remember, y'all, we are working our human muscle, right? Conflict as a human muscle builder. That is our topic today. So conflict, change, opens my eyes and expands my vision to see things that I didn't see before. Conflict is a motherboard. It will definitely open up the way for you to see and experience things you have never, ever experienced before in reference to people, places, and things. Number 6, I am able to tackle greater challenges that I would have never attempted if were not for change, conflict. I'm able to tackle greater challenges that I would have never attempted if it were not for change, conflict. All right. Anybody have a burning desire who selected 5 or 6 to say something about this? Wendy, I see your hand. And Teresa, I didn't forget you. I'm going to work with you on the last part of this. So bear with me so that we can do that piece together as a closing offering. So I see 2 hands up. Let's see where we're going with this. So I see Wendy first and then Stacy.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
I chose 6. 6 was my intuitive number.
Okay.
And what I feel for me, it says I'm able to tackle greater challenges than I would have that I would have never attempted if it were not for change. And I know I just went through a major change in my living situation. And just as the hummingbird is free and powerful in that it can sustain itself in one place while feeding off of the nectar, that's how I feel. I feel free and able to tackle things that I probably would not have tackled in my past living situation, because I lacked the confidence and it to launch out and explore different aspects of myself. I was in a comfort zone place doing the things I know to do comfortably, but now I feel that there are other aspects of myself that I am ready and willing to explore because I feel free. So the conflict for me had been constantly doubting that I could do the things that my spirit was telling me that I could do. And I was doubting myself and allowing situation and people and their opinions to feed that feelings of doubt and insecurity and lack of confidence. So I feel so free, and I'm like looking for the next adventure, looking for the next, to fulfill the next desire that I feel in my heart. So that's what it means for me. And I wrote in the chat that I read somewhere that hummingbirds represent visits from ancestral beings or something like that. And I feel a greater connection these days with my angel guides or ancestral guides. I feel that I'm listening more, and I'm complete.
Shay. So I'll offer something up. I don't know what the hummingbird represents, but I know what comes up for me as I think about what hummingbirds do. They're amazing, Wendy. They're absolutely amazing. When you think of the size of it, when you think of how they move in air, like how they cut through air, aerodynamically and strategically, how they're able to, like you said, do what they need to do to get the nectar and then dodge and weave. I would imagine that they are able to avoid predators in the natural habitat because they move so quickly. Sometimes human beings allow the winds or the environment to knock them over instead of maneuvering through and being aerodynamic. I'm saying this not literally, but figuratively. Like, you've learned how to be aerodynamic. You've learned how to take a situation that is uncomfortable and cut through it so that you can thrive, not just survive, but thrive another day. And you've maneuvered. They're constantly maneuvering. And those wings move. Oh my God, they're just no words. It's just a beautiful sight to see. And the sound that they make as they're doing it. No one would ever believe, if this bird is standing still, that they could do what they do. And I'm sure that people have slept on you and not believe that you could produce what you produce. But you have mesmerized them, and you have shocked them because of how you move and negotiate air, time, and space. So thank you for being you, Wendy, and thank you for sharing, and thank you for tackling greater challenges so that your change and conflict could be the catalyst for your growth. I truly honor you for that. And keep growing and glowing, because I know that there's more to come.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have Stacy's hand up. Stacy, you want to share?
Hi, everyone. Hello, Queen. Yeah, just it's funny because I came in after and I was looking at all the pictures, but I said if I didn't see the pictures, I would definitely have chose 5 because that's my favorite number. And that was one of the last pictures I was looking at. So that's the one where it has about 3 birds and they're approaching the sun and they're in the sky. So 2 of them wings are up and 1 is down. So when I first saw it, I was just like, oh, okay. That's me going towards the light and flying high. Like, I know that I'm flying high and So what I got from the picture, what downloaded was like, you will be flying high, but there will only be a select few that will be able to be that close to you in this process. And when I'm tired or from flying high, that they will be my support, and to keep towards the light. So I'm trying to find the conflict. I know it's all about the conflicts. I'm like, well, what am I looking for? Like the conflict within that.
Let me offer something up because this is what came up for me. You talked about a select few. In order for there to be a select few, there has to be a conflict, external and internal, of who I must release, right? So who must be not because I know you, Stacey, you have such a high level of optimism and deep love for people. And I can love people and you can love people and release them and let them go. So because the select few are left, there are echoes, ghosts of the folks that were present before that you get to clean up and remove, learn from, because once again, conflict is our human muscle builder. And so you get an opportunity to acknowledge and thank the folks who are being released, released in love. What you learn from that's going to carry you forward and teach you how to negotiate the current relationships that are going to take you to the next level of your growth and development. So you now know what to do and what not to do based on those who were present before, who didn't necessarily serve you, but have served you in the sense, because reframe, because they've taught you lessons and blessings that you wouldn't have gotten before if it were not for them. So let's go back and read the affirmation. Change or conflict opens my eyes and expands my vision to see things that I didn't see before. And that means the people that were present before, you may not have been able to see them clearly, but now you can. Thank y'all for the lessons and the blessings, but I'm moving forward with this set of people and spreading my wings with them so that we can move forward and we can all grow and transform and synergize together. So what comes up for you as you think about that as the conflict?
First I started to get emotional, like, oh, wait, what's going like, what's going on? Am I leaving behind? Because I am a person who's always like, I have so many loving people around me and so many different, I don't, just groups of different people like that I interact with in different areas of life. So I can see, wow, I'm probably gonna have to like really meditate on that. I see it as still that as I ascend, and what you're saying, that as I ascend, and that, to thank the people who have been there for me. And it's not that I don't love them or can't still love them or have relationships with them, is that I'm flying on vibrationally. I'm somewhere else. I'm on a higher, vibration. And then I can thank them for, being with me, being in my life and contributing to me. But I have to, in order for me to keep ascending, that I have to release the baggage and weight and whatever form that may come in, and or whatever people that may come in. So I think the conflict is with me even seeing who I would consider those people to be.
Yeah. And I want to, once again, to reframe this, because I'm going by the language you used earlier. It's like a select few will be where you're going, right? So that means there's some folks who are not coming. So just inside of what you shared, and I want to share, because this space, because we're part of the same community, I had to choose to release my leadership, my day-to-day engagement with my spiritual community. It was a little bit before my 40th birthday. I might have been like 38 and a half or three quarters. I chose to release that community because I had ascended spiritually, and where I was going, what we were doing there didn't align with the next level of the journey. Like I had reached the plateau, and I actually reached the plateau 3 years before I shifted and left the space, but I was holding on because I'm like, how in the hell am I going to make it without these people? And I didn't have to. They're still in my life, but we don't worship together. I don't go to that space as far as organized practice and religion anymore. Like I ascended for me, not that they're less than, it's just for me, I ascended, and I had to leave that and them behind in the way that I knew them before. Still love them. They're a huge part of my life. When Shamani transitioned, that entire community was present for me to celebrate her life with me because they're family. But I did shift and move, and I'm no longer aligned with that practice in that way. So still love, still connection, just different. Just wanted to offer that. And the folks that are in the practice that I'm in now are a select few that believe what I believe.
I got that. I so got that. What I started to just see is like everything started to pop up for me, like all of the places where I have support and love, and where the places I've already started to release myself from. I didn't even see that. Like, oh wow, I've actually released myself from these 3 places. I've still speak and still have a presence there, but it's not my base camp. Like it's not my soul, like, you know, I so got that in the vision. I got the vision. So I got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, beloved. Yeah, and let's take a look at this one more time, this image. I love this particular image. I love that it's 3 birds. I love that the wings are all different, right? You know, and then also the sun is just beaming, you know, not like directly, but like the rays are coming out. So the water is there. It's like so powerful. So I love that you selected that. And I trust that whoever these beings are that are going to be on the next leg of your journey, I hope I'm one of them, you know, not meaning one of 3, but just like this is symbolic of the select, like you said. But you know, it's just a beautiful journey, and ascension and soaring is all in it. So I trust that I'll be a witness and a participant in that ascension. So thank you for who you are, and thank you for what you bring to the table, beloved. Love you so much.
Love you. Thank you.
All right, last but not least, I'm going to move us forward. So just food for thought in this last piece, and then we're going to close out, and I will come back to unpack this with the community. I might have done this with y'all before, I'm not sure, but let's see what we have in store as far as the next number. And remember, 1 through 6, if you came in late, is making an intuitive selection. If you were drawn towards one of these affirmations or one of the pictures earlier, if you came in late after I had already given the direction, just hone in on the number and stick with that number, the 1 number, so that you can get the message for you. So we're going to talk about conflict on a deeper level before we leave the space. Let me make sure. Well, I actually have 2 slides. Let's see. Tiffany, can you read this for me before we move into the last piece?
Sure. Conflict is universal. Conflict is a universal phenomenon. It is inevitable, unavoidable, and endemic in social, political, economic, religious, and industrial society because of man's unique capability to perceive differences in any given situation. And then conflict is inevitable, but combat is optional. Max Lucado.
Thank you, beloved. So just reminding everybody, and I usually start with this, we are conceived in conflict. When I think about the sperm and the egg, and I've said this in this space before, just the sperm has to swim through this, what is considered a toxic environment, like the way our bodies are set up and how we're set up to co-create. Only 1 sperm can survive. That's conflict for your ass. And then it swims upstream to get to the egg. And even when it gets to the 1 sperm makes it, fighting all these other millions of sperm, you know, it tries to, it gets to the egg and it has to push and penetrate the egg to actually fertilize it. Amazing. So we start with conflict. Then it splits in multiple ways, more conflict. And then it starts to make its way into the uterus so that it can attach itself. Amazing. Like lots and lots of conflict. And then when we're born, like when it's time for us to be born, if it's a natural birth and there's no complications, the womb, like contractions, push, pull. Oh my goodness. Lots of conflict. And then we're pushed out into the world. Lots of times it's cold, there's light, there's voices, a lot of conflict. So conflict is part of life. It's our starting point. It's our middle point. It's going to be our ending point when our breaths cease in our bodies and our hearts stop. This is what life is about. And when we deny it, when we push up against it and make it wrong, we miss out on the opportunity to grow, flow, and transform and ascend like we are here to do in this space. So I invite you to accept conflict as your friend and to exercise your human capacity to build the muscle to negotiate conflict, and to thrive another day. So let's move forward with that backdrop. So your number 1 through 6, I want to invite you to look at this. And once again, I will come back through when the schedule permits to negotiate this conversation with conflict. This is part of my work, my anti-racist work, my healing work. I utilize this all the time. I embrace this. I push up against this for my own life. Whatever conflict that you have selected intuitively, I invite you to look at it closely so that you can explore what it means for you to be in this type of conflict. Every piece of literature, film you watch, anything that you look at, like conflict is part of it. Like what makes you be entertained when you read a book or when you watch a film or when you watch a play is the negotiation of conflict between the characters. It's present in everything. So I want to invite Teresa off to come off mute. You've been so patient. Which one of these numbers did you select, beloved?
I selected number 6.
Number 6, person versus technology. So this is interesting. And I don't know if you got why you might have gotten it, and I can offer something because like I said, I'm operating from my intuition and just trusting what that is. So Teresa, person versus technology. What is your conflict with technology?
I always a problem. Like, I don't know how to screenshot. And so I'm asking people, can they put the information in the chat? And I've tried it, but I have not mastered it. And I'm in school and I have to do, what do you call it? Video class. And I do some class and I stop because it just seems like it's a fight to get on and do the video class. If I was in class, but this class is not in class.
Got it. Yeah, so what I want to offer up that it even goes deeper than that part of what you're here to do, and I know you sell things, like you're using technology a lot. Like, you know, I see you posting and you're doing your live videos and sharing your jewelry with folks. But what's not, I keep saying and what I would offer up that is required for your continued ascension and growth in reference to your womanpreneurship is that you work the muscle of technology as your friend for the next leg of your journey and your growth and development, and pushing past whatever your resistance is in the class is going to provide you with the space for your cracking something new open so that you can learn something new and then take your work and your salesmanship to the next level. So have you considered the growth and development on these social media platforms and the expansion using tech? Website, like all of that stuff, has that been a consideration for you?
Yes, one of the classes that I'm taking requires me to do a lot of tech, and I haven't really like kicked in it because it just seemed like it's overwhelming for me. But I just have to, what came to me today was just I have to just do it anyway. Like once I start doing it, then it would become a lot more easier for me.
Yeah.
And just ask for help. Ask for help is the other thing.
Yes. And listen. You know why I'm saying that? Listen. Because this is my feedback to you all the time. Because you share a lot. And why am I asking you to listen in reference to this breakthrough for technology?
Because sometimes I don't listen and I could miss out on some things that I can learn just by listening.
Yeah, and I'm going to invite that the nuance is going to be where the breakthrough is, because technology, some aspects of it are complex, and their nuance is important so that don't cut corners and skip over because you're not listening. Like really get the nuance, listen deeply, practice regularly so that you can get what you came to get, because you get intimidated and then your voice comes into the space and then you overtalk and overthink. And this is going to require you to be still, to focus, to let the help land, and for you to just embrace and take it in and just follow the instructions to the letter, which requires deep listening and then action being taken after you take in what there is to take in reference to the instruction. Do you get it?
Yes, I get it very much so. Thank you.
All right, awesome. All right, thank you, Teresa.
Thank you,
yes, so to close out, y'all can put in why you believe you got this particular conflict, person versus person. There's you and another person that are in conflict with one another. And remember, conflict represents change. They live in the same family. Person versus self, that's your internal conflict, what's going on with you. That conflict change relationship and dance What is happening that has you be in conflict with self? Person versus society. That's, what Carmen talked about, which is racism and colonization, or the issue around money and capitalism, or how people view work in the world. Just like this whole society got shifted when we started to go in virtual space, because people who made up that you have to be present physically all the time learned that we can do the work and we can do it virtually and we can do it well. Person versus nature, that's COVID in us, right? Like, we can't beat COVID. We can not surrender to it, but do what we need to do to take care of ourselves. Some people believe vaccinations, others, natural approaches to it, or a combination of both. The superstorms that come, the conflict with the environment and how we are shifting it so much, the ozone layer, like all of these different things. Person versus supernatural, we were talking about slightly earlier with Stacy about God and the universe and faith, and what I mentioned about transition from organized church into my current spiritual practice, and then what we just talked about with Teresa. Please do hone in. Once again, today's topic was conflict, the human muscle builder, because I made it up this morning, inviting you all to take that in and to honor that conflict is your friend. And I am complete. I'm going to turn this over to Tiffany and take the sign down, the post down, so that we can all prepare ourselves to close out. All right, so special offer. I did this before. Like I said, we put this together in minutes this morning, and I'm thankful to the admin team for that work. So please do, for the women in the space, if you haven't already participated with an orientation session for Be the Tree, I invite you to consider that so you can learn what it's about. We've talked about it many times in the space because there are a lot of women that have done been a part of the journey of Be the Tree. A lot of the admin team members are Be the Tree graduates and leaders. And so inviting you to attend our next orientation session, and there is a link to register that gives the dates. Tiff, we have a little bit of a block because we have your bottom piece for your computer, your device that is displaying. So the registration, if we can drop it in to the chat, it's bit.ly/BTT-REG18. I can drop that in the chat too if others can't see it on the admin team. But if you attend an orientation and you choose to register, then you'll get a $200 discount. And that choosing has to be by August 13th. The tuition for Be the Tree is $1,150 for the 4-month journey. And if you register by August 13th, you get a $200 discount, which means you get it for $950. So please do consider that. If there's a story about time, if there's a story about money, please do share. I love coaching people around money and manifestation. And in this community, we speak of money as my own natural energy yield, which it is. I love coaching people about how to create space and deal with the conflict and the change around your mindset regarding money, and the conflict about how to manifest it. So let's talk about that and let's create that. So I am complete. My contact information as posted is here on display for you to reach me if you choose to reach me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. You can reach me by email, so leadershipdevelopment@gmail.com, and my number is on display. So please text, reach out. You're better off texting first if I don't have your number saved so that I can actually respond, because people will call, and what do they call those numbers? Those solicitation calls. So please do text first, and then we can create the space to speak if you want to speak. We can move ahead. The Woo Nation welcomes all new members. I think I saw somebody come in that's new early, I think Hannah, but I could be wrong about that. Welcome to this community. Welcome to the space on Facebook if you are new, and on Zoom if you are new. We love having you. We encourage you to come back through to create the space for you to continue to be part of this community. We have deep love and affinity here, and we welcome all new members so that you can join us in our quest to ascend, to transform, and to elevate and learn. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Post in the Facebook thread or in the Zoom chat if you are new, and we want to acknowledge you. The schedule. We are here on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday from 7 to 8:30 a.m. We're here on Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 7:30. Today was a longer session. And I'm grateful. Like I said at the top, if you didn't know, I was not scheduled to lead today. Our brother Quasi Nicholas was, and there was a delay with his flight, so I jumped in. And I'm grateful that I was able to honor the conflict by leaning into it and coming into this space. So normally on Monday and Wednesdays, it's a 30-minute session. Sometimes we go a little bit over. And we invite you to come back through and to join us and to invite other people to be part of this community. Please, for the seasoned WU members, WU Nation members, continue to invite people to join this space. We cannot get so comfortable that it's the same group of people every day. I love that we do that, but also this is about expanding our reach and manifesting more members for the community to join us and grow with us. We will never know when our next genius will land in the space to help us to expand ourselves and to grow and ascend. So let's move forward. So tomorrow, August 5th, we have Coach Cheryl Glenn. I miss her coming into the space leading. She is a dynamic leader. Her business is Your Bliss Zone. So come in so that you can experience her talking about self-love through the stages of life. And once again, stages of life invite conflict in as we grow, as we age, as we experience life in resistance. So we ask that you come and join us tomorrow. Be on time, be ready. Bring what you need so that you can transform with Coach Cheryl Glenn and the rest of the community. And let's move forward. We have WU Nation swag, and I have gotten a commitment from John Carl and Tiffany to have new swag available starting this weekend, or maybe next week. So let's get prepared for that so that we can start expanding our WU wardrobe and our WU merch. So wake up everybody, t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, if you desire to have them and keep growing your your collection of masks, and then also our teacup coffee cups for us to be able to drink and partake in the WU space. Let's move forward.
We got a new cup, Shawnee.
We do.
A new thermos. Yes, it's beautiful.
Oh, awesome. I haven't seen it yet, so thank you for sharing. I can't wait. And we'll add it to this imagery so that we can see. New thermos on deck. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, the WU Nation hydration water bottle is now available.
The WU Nation hydration water bottle. I love it. All right. Thank you, Tiff and John, for that creation. And thank you all for just being with us. We ask that you continue to register for our weekly sessions so you'll know what's coming up. If you're new, register so that you can be known in the space and we can collect your contact information and put you on the notification list so that we can send you reminders via text and then also via email so you can see what's on deck for the next week and week, because we're going to keep going and flowing in perpetuity. We ask that you join our Facebook page. That's how you get access to the recordings of previous sessions. And then also, if you can't join Zoom, you can jump on and watch the presentation there. bit.ly/WU community, Instagram, Wake Up Everybody Virtual, YouTube, bit.ly/WU on YouTube, and then email info.wakeupseries@gmail.com for ideas and innovations and feedback. We totally appreciate it. Oh, and what I will say is for today, because we had to jump in and create slides on a dime, we, in order for you to give for today's session, you can utilize hashtag, what's today's session number? Is it 386?
84?
384. Look at me trying to jump ahead. 384. So you can do hashtag 384 SVG, and you can donate if you wish. So I am complete. Family, I am complete. So you can unmute.
Thank you, Shawnee. Yes.
Thank you for
Thank you.
impromptu lesson.
Beautiful. Much
Savior.
blessings to you.
Brings about
Thank you,
change.
thank you,
Care of
Thank you,
you.
Shawnee. Thank you.
Leading by
Thank you for pouring in.
Thank you for leading by example.
Thank you for pouring in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for pouring in.
Be ever ready.
Thank
I
you.
love you. Thank you so much.
Glad.
Much peace and love.
Blessed.
Thank you, Shawnee.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
I've been
Always being on the case at the last minute. Being on the point.
Yes. Love you, Earl.